laughing. She can just burp.
I can burp the ABCs.
Can you really?
I could try.
Hit it.
Do it.
I'll throw up.
Talking about burping. Fake laugh to real laugh.
Don't forget the
I won't forget the skirt, skirt. I feel like the fact that we just went with the stock music.
Yeah.
So fitting.
So generic.
Quick, hard right.
Why not left?
Because right is always right.
Correct.
4 lefts. 3 lefts make 1 right.
But if you would have just gone right the first time, it would only take him 1.
And I'm Ashley.
You experience life more if you take 3 lefts than just 1 right.
And you are?
I'm Bethany.
No!
I'm Beth.
Bethany.
Bethany.
Tony knows.
And you are
Tony.
not
Tyler.
Tony.
Not
Uncle
Tyler.
Pat.
Tony knows I love you.
Our viewers and listeners.
Only
And
if you comment.
subscribers.
Comment and like.
And follow and subscribe
Subscribe it.
to your channel.
Yes.
Mhm.
No bye-bye yet.
No, bye-bye.
Only hello.
What?
You said no bye-byes.
Yeah.
So only hellos.
I thought you said like hundos.
I thought you said bring the money. The $100 bills. Dollar bill, y'all.
While you're here, you can just donate.
Donate.
Yeah. Our classroom wish list.
I was going to say my PayPal account. And the PayPal account is at...
Ashley Ray makes things. If you want merch.
Merch.
Hey, show off your merch.
Merchandising.
You can't
I
see
got stuff in the
anything.
way.
Nope.
This is a you can't buy these though. It's
No.
a bad example.
It's not merch, but it's advertisement to be on the podcast. You only get the shirt if you are a member, a guest of the podcast.
Should I shimmy?
No.
It says Silly Goose Teacher Club, Gaggle approved member, and then it's personalized with your name.
Me. Not you.
Mr. Anderson.
So besides the fact of us being really cool
Anderson.
and you want to talk to us, you also get a free t-shirt just for talking to us.
That was the biggest selling point. Tyler and I went around the last day of school giving out flyers to people, and we're like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? And then as soon as we were like, free one-of-a-kind t-shirt, everyone was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We were like explaining the whole podcast and like, oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah. And then we dropped like the t-shirt. They're like, yeah, all right, let's go.
Dude, it's teachers and free stuff. Like Nebraska Furniture Mart's free rug giveaway.
We are going to hopefully vlog our trip
Yes.
to Omaha, to Nebraska Furniture Mart, to get a free rug. Ashley swears by it.
Yeah, I've done it 2 years in a row. And the first year we went and stayed at my husband's friend's house. And he's like, oh, it's not going to be that big of a deal. We can get there like right at 9 o'clock. We get there. We're literally like 200th in line. I'm not exaggerating. And I'm like, Mike, you don't understand. Like, teachers are hoes for free stuff. Like, they will do anything for a free anything. Ooh.
For a Klondike bar.
Maybe. We don't want to rule it out for everyone, but
Yeah. So not everybody.
I
go
don't
to
know what they're
Nebraska
talking
Furniture
about.
Mart, but the rug I got last year was so cute. It's like pink. Anyway.
Is it in your room?
Yeah, it's the main rug.
oh, no way.
Yeah, so the pink one, it's a free 5x7 rug.
I have no idea what rug you're talking about.
It's like pink or it's the main rug for whole group time, but it's usually covered up by my little individual spot rug.
Oh, it's like a classroom rug.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a 5x7 big rug, and then the other one is blue.
7.
Yeah,
Where's the blue one at?
it was under the dot table, like our independent work table. It's like a little shaggier.
Shaggier.
Shaggy.
It wasn't me.
Scooby Snacks. Hey! All right. Could you guys hear that, or was that just me?
What?
No. I tinged my
I
headset.
heard that.
Sorry. Bell ringer?
Yeah, let's start off with the bell ringer.
Call for the fairy.
Fairy bell ringing.
Hey, I can read it this time because I can actually see.
Hit it. Wait.
Fairy bell ringer.
What?
Let's live
Third time's a charm.
Hold on. Let's live in this moment. Okay.
My arms are so ripped I hit the table.
So
One
bad.
more time.
Fairy bell ringer.
Watch your arms.
Fairy bell ringer.
What is your go-to morning drink? The sticks. Oh, take out the guest sticks. Since it's just us three.
Let's see what we get.
ASMR. You have to take out the guest ones.
Well, it makes a better rattle.
It does.
I'm getting rid of the guest sticks. All right. And the stick of the day. I pulled me.
Okay, then you get to say your morning drink first.
Okay. I love Dr. Pepper.
First drink in the morning.
Well, so hold on. So I usually have a Dr. Pepper in the evening, but I never finish it. And I have my vitamins and medicines that I take in the morning, and I usually
You drink it with Dr. Pepper.
I usually finish my
With your flat ass Dr. Pepper that sat out all night?
yeah, but it's in a bottle, so it's in a got a lid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like you can't see it, but there's about this much left.
Yeah.
That's my first morning. I walk out, pop for the pop in the pills. But my first intentional drink of the morning,
I forgot.
because of you guys, it's Alani.
Then you have to say your flavor.
Okay, what was the flavor before the cotton candy?
Sherbet.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the solid.
So that's what we're rating. Is the sherbet or the Dr. Pepper?
Sherbet Alani.
Okay. Not sponsored, but should be.
Dude.
Alani, sponsor some teachers.
200 milligrams of caffeine. Yay!
It was not going to be this when I thought we were going to talk about the Dr. Pepper because taking your vitamins of Dr. Pepper is so insane and disgusting because vitamins have a weird little taste. And
What vitamins are you taking?
I'd like vitamins.
No, I don't have like the powdery pilly ones. I take like a vitamin D capsule and an iron
Yeah,
pill.
you do.
Janice. Marty.
Yeah, they both are ashamed.
So that's disgusting and concerning, but I love Sherbet Alani, so A+ fire flavor.
Yeah, I erased my F because I thought we were going with the Dr. Pepper.
F for fantastic.
I give you an A- because that is not one of my favorite flavors, but an Alani is a top choice.
All right. I feel like it's going to be Alani's across the board here.
What if you're wrong?
Alani. Oh, okay, can we pause?
Pause.
At the beginning of the year, Beth and Shay, I think both had like really shitty days or something. Really bad days. I'm gonna get better and not cuss. And so the next morning I brought them Alani's. No, I think I brought Beth a Red Bull because I didn't know that.
It was when I was still on a Red Bull kick.
And it
You
was
ever
like
stop that kick?
I wrote Alani knew you could do it for the Alani one, and it was like, good job putting up with all the bull these last couple days.
Why didn't I get a personalized drink?
Because you weren't
didn't have
having
a
a
hard
mentee
day.
B.
I held on for their sakes.
I
And
know.
for your sake towards the end of the year.
So next year we'll get you a handlebar
So be
set.
more unstable at school.
I came home and was falling apart. Okay, not really, but
Ooh, I
kind of.
fall apart.
Wait, when did you give them free drinks? Well, I mean, we always like shared free drinks here and there, but like no one ever wrote me a message for my drink.
No, this was like in
It
the
was
beginning.
early on when I wanted to like really keep you guys.
When you were mentoring.
Yeah.
This might have even been before Mr. moved. My first.
Yeah, it was like when she was dealing with all of that
Oh,
with
yeah,
the last letter of the alphabet kid.
Yeah.
Like that's how it
Z. The last letter of the alphabet is a Z. Yes, Ooh, I fall apart.
You know, little Johnny.
Johnny,
Yes,
no
Papa.
papa. My Johnny
No,
says
it's yes, Papa. Eating sugar, no, Papa. I
Telling
know that.
lies, no
Nuh,
papa. Da da da.
I don't know, but it's a creepy song, and one
Dee-dee-dee-dee.
of my kids listens to it all the time.
Well, you know. I don't know.
Okay, let the popsicle sticks decide.
Oh, I better put them back in the cup.
Beth is straight up on her phone right
I
now.
know.
Tyler was on his phone, so I went on my phone.
I gotta. My upstairs sink is leaking, but she handled it. I'm at work.
Laura, I am so sorry.
He didn't mean that. And even if you did, we don't agree.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
we're Team Laura.
Always Team Laura.
Okay, I was gonna pick this and put it back, but I'm like, that's like I don't know why. But Ashley,
Why?
I don't know why.
She skips a turn.
We'll lose a turn.
Lose a turn or lose all points.
Pink Cat,
Yeah.
baby. I know that. Hey, shout out Pink Cat Games,
Dude,
all right?
for real.
You got to get through progress monitoring. You got to get through the last days of school.
Fun Friday lifesaver.
Yeah, Pink Cat Games. Hey, question. Sorry, pause. Did you set lose a turn or did you set lose all points?
Lose a turn.
Some days, if my kids were really testing my patience, I would do both lose all points
Yeah.
and lose a turn because
It's a
I'm like,
both.
you need something to get you down. Like, because
I never gave an option. It was both always.
Oof.
And man, I feel like that game had it out. If you played like 5+ players, it was like the same kid got like lose points, lose a turn, lose points, lose a turn.
some of them
Yeah.
couldn't stand a chance.
No, there'd be
Yeah.
one kid with like 9,000 points and somebody who didn't even get a question.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley,
Um,
what is your favorite go-to morning drink?
Obviously an Alani.
Yep, called it.
Flavor. Cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
It just came out, but like I was telling Beth when she brought me one, this has been a dream of mine that Alani comes out with a cotton candy flavor for like years.
So it's not your favorite because it's new. You've like that's your flavor.
Yeah, because like I used to drink cotton candy bangs, and then there's
Bang!
like Extreme Shock, which is this like it's a pre-workout that Mike and I drink but they don't make it anymore. So then if you buy a case, it's like over $50. It's ridiculous, but sometimes I get it for him for his birthday. But I steal the cotton candy.
So if they don't
ones.
make it anymore, is there like a second-hand black market for this shock stuff?
I don't know. It's expensive on Amazon though.
Yeah, I feel like there's some
Not
dude,
sponsored, but sponsored.
I feel like there's some dude that bought like every case. And
Yeah.
he's like jacking up the price.
But yeah, so the cotton candy is mine because I wanted them to make cotton candy, and I think it's delicious.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
A B+.
Oh, I can't.
You can give the same grade.
I give it a B+ because it misses the A because it's new.
Mm.
And I feel like the hype train
Yeah.
and you know I give you the plus because you said that you wanted cotton candy.
I've dreamed.
So like that bumps up from a B flat to a B+.
What is this, music class?
I was wondering the same thing. What's the opposite of a B flat?
Sharp.
Thank
Ow!
you.
I was gonna say B high. I don't know. B flat.
B curvy.
high.
It's a curvy B. I did an A
Miss B.
because I also agree.
Because you gave it a B+, but you couldn't match mine. That's why you gave it an
Yeah.
A.
No, I'm just really confused. But no, I really do also agree. The cotton candy one is fire, and your build up to it and like already liking the flavor is awesome. And it is one of my favorites as well out of all of them. Not my top, but yes.
Okay.
A because of the build up. Glad it lived up to the hype.
And the popsicle sticks.
Stick. Bethy Boo!
Yeah, I wrote Bethy
It
Boo
literally
on the
says Bethy Boo.
popsicle stick.
No Bethany. No Beth.
Nope.
Bethany.
Okay. My go-to morning drink is normally a white Red Bull, the coconut berry, or the new flavor, the white peach one. And I chug that in the car on my way to the school. And then when I get there, I have an Alani.
You are quite the connoisseur of beverages. Because
You have a lot of cups when we leave. Like, there's, like, the people talk about, like, ADHD and having 3 cups. And, like, Beth has 12.
well, and like I just feel like she comes in, it's like an Alani, a Red Bull, sometimes the C4, or is
Yeah.
that you the C4?
I started getting
Both.
C4s
Yeah.
too.
And then Liquid Death.
Oh, I love liquid
and,
death
like, a
water.
Starbucks or, like, Scooters or something.
Yes.
Or if it was a rough night, I get a Gatorade.
Yes,
A Gatorade Light.
yeah, that is the tell. That was out.
Dude.
Drinking Gatorade or Pedialyte.
You remember?
Oh, you're the Pedialyte.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I came in with a Pedialyte, and you're like, "Oh, did you have a rough night too?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just trying not to get sick. No way I can go out on a school night."
I remember one time Beth came in. It was like 6:30 in the morning, so it was early. But like she was coming in rough. And I think you or Shay said something, and I'm like, bet. And she was in her classroom with like her little lights on. And I flung the door open, hit the big lights. I'm like, good morning. And she's like, hi. It was perfect. Yeah. Big brother vibe, big time.
Yep.
I shouldn't even say anything. Should have flipped the lights on, threw something at her, and walked out.
Yeah.
Yep, other days.
Yeah.
But yeah, Red Bull, then Alani. You guys have to grade me
Oh.
still.
Oh, great.
Neither of you are doing anything.
Okay.
We're so intently listening. Grading.
So I give it a B. Only because Red Bulls have so many carbs and not enough caffeine for me. Especially right away in the morning. Like, need caffeine right away. But of the Red Bull flavors, those 2 and the June berry are top notch.
Oh, June berry.
Top
Yeah.
3 for sure.
Yep.
I'd agree.
I give it a B minus. And it's not a knock on your choice, it's a knock on the choice. Red Bull cans are too small.
Yes.
I need more drink.
Are they not the same size as Alani?
No.
I don't know. I haven't.
Well, it
Yes, they
depends.
are.
There are different sized Red
The Lonnies
Bulls.
are a little fatter.
No.
I do think it's an 8 and a 12-ounce Red Bull, and I think Alani's are 16.
12.
Oh, 12.
Yeah, I'm like, these are all the
Yeah.
same size cans. Cans.
Well,
Can.
well, Red Bull goes down faster for me. I think because they're less sweet.
But there are also 8-ounce cans, so there are smaller cans
Yeah.
of Red Bull.
I just like a lot of liquid. You know, like
Who doesn't?
I what animal doesn't drink much water? I don't know. Anyway.
Should we talk about why we're all so spread out?
Yes.
We're far away, friends.
Far away. So far away.
Like, so usually we hang out in Tyler's classroom.
Unless Beth's like, I want to go to my room.
Yeah, we never are really ever in my room.
We were for a while.
Not
For a little
really,
bit.
For a little
In the
bit.
mornings.
For like a couple days.
Yeah.
But we literally are in like 3 separate corners of the classroom when we are all together. There's no, like, we are not close friends. We are far away friends.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what the first... Oh, it was in Becky's room.
I was being a turd.
Yeah, I was sitting on the floor and Tyler came and sat like a foot away from me and I immediately was like, no, get away.
She had her plate of food in front of her and I had my plate of food and I just walked up without saying a word. Crisscross squatted, eye to eye and was like, and she's like, what are you doing? It was so funny. I couldn't
Yeah.
even hold a straight face. It was like instant crack.
So we are far away.
Becky's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It was-
She's always worried we're actually fighting with
Yeah.
each other. She
yeah,
just wants to make sure we don't hate each
she
other.
just swears at Beth now. Looks
I
at
swear
Beth.
at Becky.
I swear, you guys say, good morning, shut up. Love you too. Bye.
And then we both giggle for a second. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, have a good day.
Yeah. She's so funny. I love her.
Yeah, so far away friends, not close friends.
Yeah, very much need
Yeah.
our personal bubble. I feel like that also goes because of a lot of our kids too. They really don't help that situation.
Do you remember my duct tape on the floor for a while where I duct taped a line and said, you told the kids, cannot cross this line.
Yeah.
How dare you cross this line?
Yep, exactly.
One time,
like
one of
that.
my students picked my nose.
Did they find anything?
No, I don't think so.
Or did you? How did like?
What? You just sat there? Like,
Yeah. Okay, because like when I first got this student, his plan it was like you can't react, and so I had like it burned into my head. I'm like, ooh, I can't react, so I just let it happen because like I didn't know what to do.
Just ignore the behavior.
Yeah, I was ignoring the behavior, and like then he just like looked at me and like laughed. I mean, this is the same student. I now like he'll be like, I want tongue. Ew, that's all he does. But then I'll like stick my tongue out and he'll grab my tongue.
I just pictured,
This also sounds so bad, but
you know, like when somebody has like a venomous like snake or a scorpion and like, don't move.
yeah,
Like he's got his finger up your nose and you're like, don't react.
dude.
No
I
reaction.
think the same like altercation that happened in.
Altercation.
Yeah. Okay. His first year, I wish you guys could have seen him. They were all altercations. He was a big biter, and he like had his head on my neck, and then he like put his mouth on my ear, and I'm like, my earlobe is gone. But
Mike Tyson.
He didn't bite it, but that was a for sure like, do not move,
No.
don't react, like.
Oh man. Well,
That's wild.
Sorry, I'm getting
how
a
did
little
we
into
get here?
my
I drove my car.
vroom vroom.
I'm in my mom's car.
Couldn't remember what the button was called. Rim shot.
Oh no,
Yes, it is.
no.
You guys are just too.
It's a rim shot.
Anyway, how did we get talking about venomous biting?
That kind of sounds like an autobiography.
Yeah,
Venomous biting. The stories of a sped teacher.
the story of the venomous biter, as told by the venomous biter. Literature, language arts, autobiography. What she meant was, let's segue.
I
Hey,
thought
whoa,
that's
whoa,
what
whoa.
you were trying to
I
do.
was, but have you ever ridden a Segway?
No, like
No.
Paul Bart.
Yeah, mall cop.
But I have a hoverboard at our house.
I've hoverboard before. It's scary.
I'm not good at hoverboarding, but we like to pretend we're snakes and we lay with like our chest and our arms.
Snake.
Yeah, on it, and then we go around on the hard floor and like.
I'm just a snake. A silly snake.
Super silly things.
Did you guys see that guy that went viral for that?
Yeah.
He made another video. He's like, guys, I'm not a snake.
Got him.
So, the story of us as
Looks a lot
individuals.
You know,
The
song.
story of us is a
Taylor
documentary.
Swift song.
Yeah.
It's a documentary
Oh.
It's Taylor Swift
about
song.
the
Yeah.
United States.
Uh-uh.
We are 2-3 different individuals.
Yeah.
Unk.
Mm-hmm.
Beth.
Beth. So,
Oh, and me.
me. Hey, wasn't there a Muppet that was like meep 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 meep?
Yeah, the little one.
I thought he was a big one.
Are we gonna have the Muppets on as guests
Who?
at the talent show? Weren't they the Muppets?
Oh yes, yeah, they were.
Yeah. Oh my god, we are.
2 of the 3,
Yeah.
because the third one's on a vacation.
Anyway,
Yeah,
the autobiography.
that'll be in about 2 or 3 episodes. We haven't recorded yet.
Yeah.
We see them in a couple days here.
Yeah.
Autobiographies, the story of
Us.
Each
us.
of our
each
teaching.
of our
Yeah.
yes. Something fell on me.
Probably the eraser fell out of it, but that is clicking in the
Oh,
microphone.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm
You're fidgety.
fidgety. Something hit me.
You're gonna need like a walking treadmill so you can just pace.
In the middle of the podcast, the viewers and listeners
And
will
like a standing desk goes. Brrr.
the listeners be hearing me. I can't breathe. Gotta sit down. Sweat pouring, dripping. Oh, all right. We are a mess. All right.
Reset.
Okay, the story of us as individuals, how we came to be teachers. I don't want to say long, I mean, it's long, but I will summarize. But being the most senior, I don't get it. That's okay. Being the most senior of the group, I have a lot of history.
I think we let the popsicle sticks decide.
All right. The fate is in the stick.
Isn't it always?
This podcast is not for children.
Have we shouted out Janice yet?
Not this episode.
Shout out Janice.
We love Janice.
Haven't sworn. I have not sworn.
I don't think I have either.
Paul!
It's because
This episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I have.
Yeah, you did in the first 3
It
minutes.
just happens, yeah. Yeah. My mom said we all need our own button.
Bethy Boo.
How did you become a teacher, Beth?
Well, I feel like my story is going to be so short and sweet compared to your guys's.
That's okay.
When we were plotting this out, I don't think you were in the room. We were talking about like what content we're going to do. And I was like, well, Beth just kind of like knew what she was going to do kind of a thing. And it is going to be a little direct.
Yeah.
But.
Well, in high school, the first thing
3 years ago.
5.
Oh, yeah, 5 years
I'm
ago.
old. I'm not that young. It's been a while.
'Cause I'm old.
Okay,
So-
auntie.
Auntie.
You know, like Unk, but...
I used that in our other recording we did.
Oh.
So funny enough, in high school, but my sophomore, junior year, I actually really had planned to go to school for either, if I couldn't go super far away, I was going to go for criminal justice and psychology, and then go into law school to be a criminal defense lawyer. But as I have talked a little bit, I really hate reading. And like having to do that in law school, that would be a lot. And I knew that I could not commit to that. But if I could go far away, I wanted to dabble in marine biology.
What is far away?
Like somewhere with a beach. I wasn't going to do marine biology in the Midwest. I had to be somewhere where there was a good marine life. So then I got in trouble, and I actually had to do some community service hours at a special school in Sioux Falls.
Why?
Did we know about
No,
this?
no, this is new. I looked at your face and it told me that was new news too. Because I forget things, but no.
Is
Yep.
it pod appropriate?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything else. That was it.
No.
No.
Okay.
It's an old, before life. Community service though.
Yeah, so I had to do some like
How many hours?
I think close to 50.
That seems like so many.
Plus our required community service class and community service hours you already had to do in high school. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was at the freaking like food bank every night and morning serving food, and then I go to the school midday and after school. And
So, I'm sorry, keep going.
so anyways, I start volunteering at this school, and it's a school for kids. Most of them end up living there too. It's like dorms and the school portion of it, and they all are like very much moderate to severe disabilities. One of my main students was in there because he had gotten just a really bad TBI. So I would volunteer, and I would go
Traumatic
be in
brain
there.
injury.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Teacher talk.
Acronyms. So yeah, I just help out with them during their meals, hang out in the dorms, help them in the school, yada yada, and I found there wasn't really anything else I liked doing. And then I started tutoring some like other kids in the SPED program at my high school, and that's when I decided that's what I was doing. It's the only thing I liked actually doing every day, and I knew I wanted to have a job that I enjoyed going to that didn't feel like work.
So, to give a summary, getting in trouble led to you discovering your career path.
Mm-hmm. So cool.
Yeah, like I was
Yeah.
gonna try to, usually when I say things like what I wanted to say, like, oh, that sounds poetic, you guys be like,
Yeah, that's just a part of the thing.
in your feels. Ooh.
Yeah.
But really, like, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
a lifetime movie because it's like,
Yeah.
not super deep, but it's deep
Yeah.
enough.
Yep. Definitely wouldn't have never considered education before that.
Gilmore Girls, like that
Nope,
level.
never
of deep.
watched it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Anyway.
More of a Pretty Little Liars person.
Okay. Lauren Graham.
I have no clue what that is.
She's an actress. All right. Well, hey, that's a.
Yeah, that's about
That's
it.
actually really like. I thought it was gonna be so much more lamer.
What about?
Thank you for your
Just being
honesty.
honest, like I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, I was in school. I had one teacher that I really liked, and they were sweet and cool, and I was like, I want to be like them. Ba boom. But you revealed something on the podcast that we didn't know, and I kind of feel slighted. Like, I can't believe that.
Well, it's because your story is so long that we never even get to mine, I don't think.
But I know so much more about you, and to not know you were required to do 50 hours of community service.
And that was just 1 year.
Mic
So
drop.
much more comment. Yes, Ashley, hold that thought.
I do have a question though. Like, so then obviously you went to college to be a teacher. Was
Oh yeah, I kind of just stopped.
school like
And I'm
was
done.
school the only place that you interviewed for?
Pretty much.
Wait, why didn't you go to a marine state?
I actually just got tired of looking for college. Well, as you guys know me, I get.
That is the most best answer ever.
I got tired
Did
of
a quick
looking.
Google search.
I got tired of looking at schools, applying. The process is so annoying. I hated doing it. And so one morning I just got tired of my mom asking me, hey, so what are we thinking? I'm like, fine, I'll just go to Morningside. I don't care. I'll go to Morningside. It's fine. That's what I've decided. And that's how I decided where I was going to school.
To do cheer.
I did do cheer there. Yep. And that
Did
was
they-
just another bonus.
Did they like recruit cheer, or do you just like try out for the cheer team? How's that work?
Yeah, I got recruited. I had a bunch of schools that would come out to like our competitions and everything our senior year.
Lit.
Yeah. And then went to Morningside for education, elementary ed and special ed, and then an endorsement in reading and ESL. And then after student teaching, I definitely went hard at student teaching, so I got a little burnt out. Had to take a couple months out of the schools.
As we all do.
Yep. And then, just me being me, did not apply for jobs very early. So no, I had one interview at one school and I really did not like it. So didn't get that one, thank goodness. And then our principal called and she knew the lady that I had student taught with. So that was our connection there.
Boom.
And now I'm at the school.
What?
I mean, yeah, we already talked about it, so like, I don't think we'll get in trouble for saying what school we're at.
What?
No, you don't get to play with that because I can hear it.
So sorry. So you went to Morningside. What was option 2? Like, if it wasn't going to be Morningside, did you have like a maybe, probably this
No.
college? So straight up, it was
Yep.
Morningside.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. That's about it.
I feel like the Popsicle Sticks can't decide, and I just have to go because yours is going to be just so much heavier than everybody else's.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for this noise. Real quick. I'm so sorry. Okay. Gentle. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm leaning in.
I graduated high school thinking,
5 years ago?
no, more than that. I've taught for 4
8
years.
years ago.
Yeah. Ugh,
Your
That's
10-year
gross.
reunion's coming up.
that's gross. I don't like that.
Oldies.
Let's not talk about that.
Auntie.
Yeah. But I graduated thinking that I was going to be a high school English teacher. And the craziest part to me now is like which first year teacher Ashley did not set good boundaries. But now I'm like, I do not do schoolwork at home. Like I might answer a couple emails, but like I'm not doing like work. High school me was like thinking about sitting in my living room one day, like grading papers. And I was like, oh, that sounds so fun. Like, no, there's no way.
Ow. For reference, that kind of teaching I don't think exists.
I
Like
know.
the glass of wine in a movie and
Yeah.
grading papers.
Yeah,
Like,
but
yeah.
that was a picture,
I know the vibe. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I really wanted to like coach high school sports, so I wanted to like get my coaching endorsement, whatever. And so I went to Briarcliff and I did basketball and track there. And I did a volunteer thing at Miracle League. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I think these are the people I want to hang out with my freshman year of college. And then I worked for a summer at Camp High Hopes as...
Shout out Camp High Hopes.
Yeah, shout out Camp
Alum.
High Hopes. It's, I don't know, that's probably not a common, like, name, but it's a camp for people with disabilities, and there's, like, an overnight camp, and then there's, like, a day camp where people come and go, and so I worked at the day camp. And so then I switched to elementary special ed. Actually, technically, I'm K-12 SPED endorsed, so I could go teach in a high school, but that sounds terrible.
Scary.
Yeah, they would bully me. And then I graduated, and I actually interviewed for the middle school, like, behavior program position that we will get to later.
We have a connection there.
A different school district, and I felt really uncomfy after the interview and was like, absolutely not.
Yep, I didn't feel that. I should have.
And then I actually ended up replacing the person that I student taught with at Irving. So, like, she left, went to go be a stay-at-home mom, and I took her job.
It's like a relay race.
Yeah.
Pass the baton.
And so I did 2 years doing Resource, which is our pull-out special ed program. I had a full-on mental breakdown my second year. No, first year. Like, the womp womp is funny, but, like, I went on a girls' trip. I think it was my second year of teaching.
Wait, are you going to spill some new tea too?
I know about this.
Yeah, I've talked about this. You just don't listen, but...
Hold on. I might have listened. I forget things. Keep going. It might come back.
But I went on a girls' trip to Nashville with a couple of my friends.
In the van?
Yeah.
Yes,
and we
yes.
drove... Well, no, not the Vanaconda. We, like, took someone else's car.
No, not the Vanaconda one.
That was Alabama. That was a fun
I know
spring
about
break.
Alabama. I don't know about... Okay, sorry. I'm interrupting it now. I just want to know so bad.
So we went, because we were just going to have, like, it was over spring break, like, a fun weekend in Nashville. And we got to Nashville, so we drive, like, 9 hours or whatever it is. I get into the hotel room and start sobbing. Full-on panic attack. Like, I tried anything I could to get calmed down. I called my husband, like, sobbing. I called my best friend, sobbing. And it was because I was so anxious about leaving work. Like, I could not think about, like, there's going to be a substitute in my room. And, like, are they going to know what to do? And all this other stuff.
And you're in Resource at this time?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, your current position, I could understand a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was Resource. So then I go on this long therapy journey, whatever. And then I took the new position as VBC teacher, verbal behavior. It's like an autism classroom. I kind of talked about it already.
Mhm.
But, yeah. And I really like my job a lot more now.
I think I knew you went to Nashville. I didn't know it was like a...
Yeah, no, that was
Snapping
like
point.
the breaking point for my, like, mental health, which, I mean, I can't get into that on a different episode. That is not so depressing, but I think it, like, really speaks to, like, a lot of teachers. Like, we live in a very perfectionist, like, community, and a very, like, no matter what you do, you feel like you're not doing enough. And, like, the guilt that I felt of going on a trip when I have summers off, but I went on a trip during the school year, like, crippled me. But now like, I went to therapy, I'm on the right meds, whatever, and, like, for the most part, I'm thriving. Last year was really rough. Last year, I wanted to quit my job a lot, too. But this year, I'm thriving more. But yeah, that's kind of my teaching, like, gulp.
That sounded so liquidy. She's gonna spill her liquid.
Did you not want to say spit?
Did I say spill?
Yeah, you said spill.
Oh, spill, spit, same thing. You spill out, you spit out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take away from your story there, but that was quite the gulp.
Yeah.
I think the people listening will hear that.
They will.
It wasn't even
So
like,
sorry.
It wasn't even like a gulp. It was like a.
It's Slurp.
The airway opened for a second.
You swallowed down your air hole? Cue laughing.
We are all very quiet laughers.
Yeah. If we just go quiet and you're like, so, okay. Hey, really quick. When are we taking a trip to Nashville? Because I want to go to Nashville really bad.
That sounds fun.
I think
Yeah.
I have Joe's moving there.
We can go visit Joe.
Mike and Laura go and we all go and meet Joe?
Road
Trip. Let's do it. I go to New York in a week or so, and then when I get back.
Oh no, we gotta next summer.
Don't be crazy.
No, sorry.
Bro, Ashley Ray Makes Things is booked out like.
What
most
about
of
like the
summer.
first or second week of August?
No.
No, I start training.
I seriously can't do anything more this summer. I'm gonna explode.
I'm gonna go to Nashville myself.
You're going to Montana too.
That's in September.
Womp womp.
Back to Ashley's story.
I forget which one. Yes.
Although the Mentee B did
Yeah.
suck, I feel like it did, like they always say, it makes you better now and helped
Oh.
you set those boundaries
100%.
and know what practices
What
not
doesn't
to
kill you makes you
keep up with.
stronger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's cool though.
Yeah, but no, like I mean,
Oh.
we joke about me getting like 20 tattoos in the last year, but like I graduated therapy in the last year and finally like I'm like I'm me and I do what I want.
Did you graduate your therapy while the school year was going?
This school year, yeah.
So like we knew you.
Yeah, I talked about going to therapy all the time.
I know, but I guess I didn't realize there was a
Yeah, no, I graduated.
when.
Oh, I don't know. October maybe?
See, I didn't really start to get to know you
Yeah.
as much until like November-ish, December-ish.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I was in like weekly therapy for like 2 years.
Solid.
Yeah.
I was making faces into the little camera.
We have a Beth face cam.
Cut back.
I only have one
Was-
other thing to touch on, I guess, with my teaching journey.
Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah.
So after that arrival breakdown, trying to
Mhm.
get, did you have a good time at Nashville? Like, did
No. Oh, yeah. So I break down. I cry. I call Mike. I call my best friend Kat. I
you?
go to the airport because I'm gonna fly back.
You drive there, get there, breakdown, time to go back.
Yeah, I
Oh, boy.
Uber to the airport, buy my ticket to get back to Iowa that night. Flight grounded because of high winds, like not leaving. So then I rent a car and drive all through the night to get back home.
I definitely was never told this story.
So yeah, I feel like that actually plays a little bit more into the severity of the Mentee B.
Yeah.
Because then shit was so awkward because I go back to school then that next week and everyone's like, "How was your trip to Nashville?" And I'm like, yeah. Oh, shit.
Funny you bring it up.
Yeah.
I actually barely made it.
Yeah.
It was a quick trip.
Yep. It was quick. It was okay.
Wow. So, what about your girlfriends that you went down with? Were they like, bye?
They were going to be like trying to talk to me and like, but like there was no calming me down. Like Mike has told me, he's like, I've never felt so powerless in a situation because like you, like, I mean, it was uncontrollable. Like,
Did it
Yeah.
build as you were traveling?
yeah, like
And
I
then-
got just more and more anxious.
So did you leave town excited?
No, I cried the whole time I packed my suitcase.
Oh boy. So this was, yeah. Man.
And then you actually get there and then you
Yeah.
feel like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
all of these things I'm thinking about and there's
Yeah.
literally nothing I can do as I'm states
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
I'm so screwed if anything happens. Like, yeah.
And so, like, my friends tried to help, and I was just like, I'm not going to ruin your guys' weekend. Like, you guys go out, do whatever. And, like, now, fast forward to me now, it's like, I was just such a people pleaser that, like, I could not imagine, like, ruining someone's vacation because of my mental health. You know, like, which is insane.
You will ruin
now.
yourself.
Yeah, I will ruin me before I ruin anybody else.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
This has been so good. I have learned something. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She told me when I was also having my mentee bees, and I feel like I would have had a similar experience if I didn't have you guys this year.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing, yeah.
Wow.
Because I feel like you have not come as close to that, at least around us this year. And I was very close to it at least 3 times.
My guess would be similar to last year teaching Tyler.
Oh, we can get into that.
Okay, but first I do have one more note on my teaching journey. Because, so when I first took the resource job, like after I student taught, I was like, oof, I just don't know if this is like the right kind of sped for me. Like I thought I was going to get bored. Yeah.
So obviously a lot of the people listening probably are in teaching, but resources, you know, we have our classroom, we have groups that come to us.
It's like a pull-out
session. Usually it's like typically 30-minute minimum, sometimes 45 minutes. And it's like a intense math session, reading, writing. And then the kids leave and you get another group. Okay. So you're doing that.
Yeah. And so like, and I had talked to Becky.
Mentor Becky.
Yeah, Mentor Becky. Like right away kind of in the first year. And I said I was nervous about resource because I thought I would get bored. Because like working at Camp High Hopes. Oh, and I worked at Opportunities Unlimited. It's like what would you call
Residential.
it? Yeah.
Like a residential. They have houses. You go in and help. Yep.
Yeah. People with disabilities there. And so like everyone that I had worked with disabilities thus far had pretty severe disabilities. Like my first day at Camp High Hopes, I took somebody's lanyard and my hair got pulled and a box of crayons got chucked all over the archery area. But so I was like, ooh, I don't know, I might get kind of bored. And then I got through year 2 and I had a student that one of the coaches wanted to try some of this verbal behavior training with like intensive teaching. You go through like flashcards to build vocabulary. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like I really like it's almost like an ABA clinic in a school setting. And I actually had like emailed the director of the SPED department in Sioux City and I was like, I know there's talk about this being a program upcoming, like I am so willing to do whatever kind of trainings. Like, I'm really interested in this. And then that's kind of how I got booted over.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
A little self-initiation with it.
Yeah.
That's
Shout
fun.
out therapy.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And now I'm just living the dream for 4 more years at least.
Cheer.
No.
I jokingly say 4 more years because I have to pay off my teacher.
If you're listening and not viewing, I gave her a very stern, look.
So scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now let's get into the novel, which is
Well,
Tyler's
first of
career.
all, I feel the need to say, I in no way like, what's the word I'm looking for? I empathize with each of you, and you're like, you both. It just, I think it goes to show, like, there's always something that you just never know about a person. Like,
Yeah.
I did not know that it was getting into trouble and doing required service.
Community service.
Like, that led Beth to that path. Like, I got to add real quick. When I first met Beth, I was like, oh, she is the most, like, righteous, like, goody, two-shoey. And then she made some comments early on about, and I was like, huh? But I didn't know that. So like, that is really, it's a neat story in itself. Ashley, that was, you acted like I think you said, I'll get mine over before we get heavy. Like that was kind of heavy.
Yeah, I didn't really plan on going really into the whole Nashville MTV thing, but here we are.
That was just, yeah. And you got a hand up. So go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's funny because you're talking about Beth and when you first met her. But so my really good friend Kat, when I saw
Hi,
her
Kat.
hi Kat. When I saw her at freshman orientation of college, I like saw her in the crowd and I was like, "You're gonna be my best friend."
So you didn't know her?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I knew she like was gonna play basketball too.
Okay.
But I was like, she's probably gonna be my best friend. And I low key had same feelings with Beth's interview. I was like, That seems like good vibes.
Because you sat in on it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just my fun fact.
Yeah,
Cool.
my interview was so funny. It was literally just us sitting there giggling for half of it.
Yeah.
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 It was good bonding.
Mine was weird.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
No, it was the other 2 resource teachers.
That left.
They
Not
left.
saying
They were like, we
anything.
have 3 resource teachers, and we're replacing one.
Well,
there's-
yeah, because Paige took a room
Yeah.
of mine.
It was the 2 principals, a principal and assistant principal, and then the 2 resource teachers. And they, like, you know how they do it. They send you a thing, and they're like, you're going to teach a lesson. Well, one of the ladies in the office called me, and they're like, you're going to teach a lesson. Be there at this time. Bye. And I was like, okay.
Do you actually have to teach?
Well, it said send in a recording
Yeah.
or be prepared to teach a lesson. I didn't have to record myself teaching for any of my college courses. Like you guys did, I guess. I didn't have to. So-
Maria observed me when I student taught.
Okay. So you had that going. But I was like, well, I'll just teach. But then I'm sitting there going, they didn't give me a grade level. They didn't give me a content area. Like,
Good luck.
what am I going to teach? So I reached out to a friend, Jody, who
Oh.
was the one that recommended, like, she
we
was the
need
one.
her on the pod.
Oh, she'd be a hoot. That would be fun. Square Squad. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. I was like, Jody, what do I? She's like, I don't really know. So I grabbed like this reading curriculum, really great reading, which I've tried to bring into our school, RGR. And anyway, I get in there and I'm interviewing and I'm wearing a suit and tie, you know, I was full.
As long as I got my suit and tie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it out on the floor tonight.
Yep. The whole thing. It was the last day of school last year. So like a bunch of like kids were running around signing shirts, and in the office I'm sitting there full, brought my little leather briefcase bag thing, you know, I was like rocking it, you know, and they go through this, and then Maria goes, we didn't tell you grade level or anything. She's like, so I'm not going to put you in that spot. I'm like, oh, thank God. I said, but I did bring stuff. So I kind of showed her that. And she's like, well, we'll be in touch shortly. From the time I got in my car and drove to, I was coaching at the time, soccer. So I drove to soccer practice before I could get out of my car to go to soccer practice. So 15 minutes, phone rang. Hey, we'd love to offer you the job. Like,
Well, like, I guess, I don't know if you guys have been in on, like, interviews now,
Yeah.
but it's like, they leave, and you're like, so what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then, like, she wants to call with everybody in the room, so we can all be like, woo!
I've been in on some interviews. I won't give it away in case somebody knows, but we have a visual cue.
I've never done
Maybe
the
that's not for
visual
teachers.
cue.
It's only been for paraprofessionals.
No, I've only interviewed for Well,
Oh.
I guess I've interviewed with
So
them, but
if we all do something, it's very, very discreet.
that's
but
how I got hired, was with the visual cue.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
If we all do something, then the job is offered on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody has any doubt or question, we don't do that thing, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
And I never really know. Like, I'll have it feeling, but I'm not about to be the first one to do that thing. So I'll like look at what the principals are doing,
Yeah.
and I'll match them.
Or like, never mind. I'm not gonna say. Never mind.
Yeah. So anyway, my story.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Well, it all started a long time ago. Okay, no, it's for real. So
Back in the 1900s, before
So-
phones even existed.
1900s.
I say just start with like.
Well, let me
your
give a quick.
teaching.
Yeah. Well, let me give a quick build up of how I got into education, because that's kind of
Oh.
important. So
Puts the cheetah blanket down.
yeah, getting lean in. You guys talked about like in high school. I came out of high school. Finished my sophomore year. And then like I was like, I need to work. And I was like, I'm gonna go homeschooled. So I got homeschooled junior, senior year. And being real honest, like that wasn't much schooling. Anyway, but at the time I was 18 and I was dating / I got engaged to a girl at the time. And we dated. I was 15 years old when we started dating, and we were together until I was like 20, 21, 22. And we had been engaged. And her family did sign language. And I just kind of happened to pick up on sign language. Are you pointing at something?
No.
You're like-
I'm just sitting here. I'm trying not to laugh all the time.
I also realized I moved this table way closer after we set up the face cam, so it might not even be on me anymore.
So anyway, so they, her mom was a sign language interpreter. Her sister was a sign language interpreter. And they would sign at home, and I'd be like, "What are you saying?" And they were like, "If you want to know what we're saying, learn sign language." I was like, "All right, bet. Like, I will."
Was anyone in the family like?
No,
Okay.
I think that origin was like some guy came through. Or we knew each other from church, and he came through and like taught classes at the church. So,
okay.
so I was like 18, get out of high school, then homeschool, get my whatever, and a position came open at South Sioux City, and it was a summer position with their year 13 program. So after students are 18 and graduate, they can stay within the school until they're 21. They have special needs, Down syndrome and deaf. And so literally the job was you get to hang out until like from 8 a.m. until 1 every day. We had an apartment. The school had an apartment in an apartment complex. And so I would get there 8 a.m., go pick him up at his house. We'd walk because I couldn't drive in my own car. We'd go to the apartment. We would do some, work and stuff. And then we would grocery shop. We'd ride the city bus. We'd go see movies on Fridays. We'd just do we hung out. And then that morphed into a full-time sign language position in the elementary school for 2 years. And then at that time, I'm like, now like 21 or whatever. And I literally have fallen into like education, I was like, I don't even know what I want to do. So I think I went and like.
Well, you were in the middle school while I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. While you were a student.
Yeah.
And I was, yeah. So that's mind blowing.
Fun fact.
So I think that at some point I went and became a security guard. That was interesting.
Literally, like, we will be with Tyler in a car, and he'll be like, I worked here. I worked here. Menards.
Home Depot. Not Lowe's.
KTIV, a news channel.
Yep. The news channel.
Selling houses.
I was a realtor. Yeah. Well, and okay, so let me get to there because that realtor part actually plays into how I got as a teacher. Really. So I do all these things, right? I'm like through my 20s, like kind of going to school every now and then, like a class a year, and like not even every year. And I was a farmer for a while, farmed as a farmhand. Then my wife is a teacher, and I got married, and I was a para. And at this point, I can't even like keep a linear timeline because it's just all over. So I'm just hitting the highlights. So I was like, okay, I'm para, and I'm just working back in the school. I kept finding myself like I'd leave education or leave the schools for like 2-ish years, and then like I'd come back. And
it's a trap.
And then I was working in the daycare in the school. And then I got offered to be the director of the daycare. I'm like, no. So then a good friend of mine, she got the director job, and she's like, I will only be director if you help me. I was like, if you do the billing, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I just don't want to do the billing. And so I did that, and I really liked that, working with we had everywhere from 6-week-old babies up to 5-year-olds. Loved that. Yeah. Beth gives a face. And then meanwhile, like, and that was in the same school as my wife works in. So I got to see her. And then I'm like, I need to have a career. Like, you just don't make much money as a para or anything like that, unfortunately. So my dad passed away, and my mom sold her house, and this realtor came in and like handled everything. Awesome. Kevin, shout out Kevin if you ever see
Go
this.
Kevin.
Love Kevin, literally like a older brother. Love him. But he helped my mom out so much, and he was like actually talking to my brother about getting into real estate. And so my brother's like, hey, he's trying to get me into real estate. What do you think? We can make money. I'm like, maybe. And I just like was like stumbling into that now. And I stumbled in, and I would like, you have to take an ethics course. There's 3 main courses you have to take, and then you have to test. And I was like, I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to go test. If I pass and get it, then I'll do it. If I don't, then I'm going to find something else. So I studied for like 2 months, went down to Omaha, passed. And I'm like, all right. Sold houses, was doing that, kind of getting going. COVID hits. And leading into COVID, the company I was working for had like this program, blah, 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 the software about, and I love new software. I like tech. So I was like diving in, and they came to me at one point and they're like, hey, how would you want to be the tech trainer for this? And I was like, oh, to train everybody in Sioux City? Yeah. They're like, no. For the entire state of Iowa, Keller Williams Realty was the company. They're like, you'll be the state tech director. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, well, we have our office in Okoboji, Sioux City, Clear Lake, Des Moines, and Ames. And so you have to, service those agents there. And I was like, yeah, sure. And it was really kind of cool because I would drive to Des Moines. I had an office in Des Moines. I would drive to Ames. I had an office in Ames. I drive to Clear Lake. That was a dinky little office. I did not have an office there. Okoboji was pretty cool. Anyway, so I was literally driving and staying over in Okoboji like one night a week, Wednesdays into Thursdays. And I loved the teaching part of it. Like,
teaching adults is terrible.
It was terrible. And teaching older adults technology is really terrible.
Shout out Janice.
I mean, I'd get to the point where people would call me from like Des Moines if I was in Sioux City. And like, I'm like, give me your password and log in. Like, let me get in there. Those people were very good at selling houses. They were not good at tech. And then I think, COVID happened, and then I started subbing when we got back in the school. And the principal of that school, of my wife's school, came and she's like, "When are you going to get your teaching degree done?" Because I kind of been. She's like, I'm like, "Oh yeah." She looked at me and she's like, "No, when are you going to get it done?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I went and signed up for classes. I had just finished my 2-year at Northeast, which is over the bridge, and they have it tied into Wayne State.
Go Cats.
WC.
Both my siblings went there, and I could have gone there for free, but...
For free?
Yeah, I wanted to play basketball.
So, but I was like, I have to work. So it was, luckily they had a program where the classes wouldn't be until 4 p.m. So I was working, and then I would leave work, drive to the college, and my classes would start at 4, and my first class would go from 4 to 7, and then my second class would start at 7:15 and go to 10. And I did that Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Thursday nights.
One important note that I feel like is like you're also a parent.
Yes.
At this point in time, like Beth and I don't have kids.
Right.
Like you're also a parent at this point too.
Yeah. So at this time, I have, my older kids are, one of them's out of the house, but yeah, Carson didn't graduate until 2020. Si's in middle school / high school, and then my daughter is like 4, 5, 6 years old, and so I was missing a lot, which it sucked. But I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I remember I was taking like 18 credits a semester, and working full time, and
That's
can
insane.
imagine.
yeah,
I barely survived doing that. Like in college, where like, yeah, I did sports, but like I still partied every weekend. Like
Every weekend we were partying every night, and I was still trying to do 18 credits.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I also remember I had to call and talk to like the dean of student or something. They had a cap on how many credits you can take over the summer. I had to get a special waiver that allowed me to take above the maximum allowed.
that's insane.
And because I was like during the summertime too. And I just went hard. Like looking back, I'm like, what in the heck? But it just became so routine. And it was really nice because I only ever had 4. There was a 5th one, but not going to go there. I only really had 4 professors.
Oh yeah.
And one was my not counselor, but what do they call him? The person that helped.
Advisor.
Shout out Donnie. Love Donnie. You guys know Donnie. He's Simcoe's.
I was gonna say, is that the one that's a mentor?
Yeah, he's Simcoe's mentor. And then one was a guy from my hometown, and I actually coached his daughter, and he was awesome. And then one, we were supposed to have a 3-hour class. We never, nobody will find out. We never went past an hour and a half. It's supposed to be a 3-hour class. If we made it past an hour, she'd be like, we should really wrap up, huh, guys? We've really covered a lot of ground. And she was just that awesome of a person. Like, and then the fourth one was also somebody I knew from my hometown. Anyway, so that made it nice. Anyway, wrap that up. Graduate. I only ever went to the Wayne State campus 3 times in my life. I've only been there 3 times.
Go Cats.
WC. Wildcats.
Get your head in the game.
Yeah.
Gotta get you.
So,
Breaking free.
I apply for a job at a district. I get hired to teach Project Lead the Way. It was, it's a special.
Okay.
So it's like Project Lead the Way is a curriculum, and then there's different categories, and they're like, you'll teach one class, bridge building. You'll teach another class, drone flying.
Oh, it's like STEM.
It's STEM, yeah. And there was one more, and I was like, this is freaking awesome. And then I get a phone call, probably 3-4 weeks before the school year starts, and it's that school. And they're like, hey, your Wayne State professor, she's also a guidance counselor here at the middle school. We have a position coming open, and she recommended you and said you'd be fantastic for it. I was like, oh, what is it? You know, and like the ego's feeling really good at this point. Like, all right, yeah, what's up? And it was for that middle school behavioral position. And they're like, it's a SPED position. I did not go to college for SPED. Like, I was like, I'm going to teach kindergarten, like done and done. And they're like, so you'll have to get your conditional. We'll help you through that. They were having a sign-on bonus at the time. So the position I had originally got hired for had $1,000 sign-on bonus. If I took this position, it was a $3,000 sign-on bonus.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's more money too. And
not like my monthly paycheck.
yeah. And so I was like, no, I think the ego more than anything. I was like, I'm recommended. Like, she thinks I'm going to be good.
Someone thought of me for a job.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
So I'm like, she's like, you can give it thought. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it some thought. Yeah, I'll do it. Like, it was just like that. And they're like, okay, so the middle school, by the way, I said, I'll teach elementary. If I had to, I'll teach high school. But my exact words were, you will never catch me teaching in a middle school.
Catch me in the middle school. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Catch me outside. So they're like, we have a teacher that teaches this. It's the like LEAP program, and she's in the elementary. She will train you up, teach everything, be your kind of guidance, whatever. Well, she took a new job, and they didn't know that at this time. So I get to my job. She came in over the summer. She was really good about doing that, and like kind of gave me like a 2-day crash course. I'm a visual, like, see it done learner, not a tell me how to do it learner. And so fast forward. August starts. I'm like a first year teacher, like, right?
Yeah.
Like super excited. So I'm decorating the classroom, and it's a behavioral pull out classroom. I'm in charge of 3 paras and the schedules and all this stuff. And they're like, you're in charge of IEPs and caseloads and da-da-da-da-da-da. I remember I did not go to school for special ed. So I'm like, oh, IEP, individual education plan. I know that. Yeah, I know that. That's all I knew. And so I get some kids, and they were some tough kids.
And middle school, I think it's just a hard time for any kid. And then you put like a behavior issue on top of that. Oof.
Yeah. And like, I am not in any way like trash talking behavior kids.
No.
The like learning trauma and hearing things that I had to hear, like, man, that's a whole different thing in itself. And anyway, you said something like, I never hit that point this year, like last year. So we had a school psych, and obviously her job was to work with the kids. I remember going to her in the middle of a day, and I looked at her and I was like, I'm just going to start crying. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, oh. I'm like, I'm either going to, like, I was losing it. Yeah. I told her, like, I just want to grab my stuff and walk out. I want to leave. I want to be gone. She's like, that's really bad. Like, and
well, it's not good.
like, and
well,
there wasn't much she could really say or do. And I think I went to the principals, and there were 2 new principals in that building. And I'm not bashing anybody. Like, everybody was doing their best, but Like I was just in a really emotional state. And the one kid that I was like mainly having issues with and dealing with, his trauma kind of touched and related on some trauma that I had as a kid. And so like it was a trigger for me.
Yeah.
And like my emotions were triggered hard with him. And there were just days. And then like, this is not a highlight thing. This is not like I brag about it, but it was a day in November and I emailed. I didn't even call because I couldn't. And I was like, I'm not coming back. And at that time and at that moment, I had decided, damn, like I worked really hard to be a teacher, but I can't do it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've been in here 4 months. I'm done. And I left that job with no plan. And then KTIV came along in January.
Okay, before you move on from that, I just have something to add. Like, I can't even imagine how hard it was and, like, how much support you didn't have. Just seeing, like, how well and amazing you were at the position this year with all of that, like, support and the necessary environment.
Like, you were the therapist for all of us.
my thing that I could always fall back on is it's not as bad as it was last year.
Except that was a bad coping skill when, like, some other people would be like, well, and then, like, this sucks. And you'd be like, but last year.
Yeah. Like, it was so bad. Like, I was down it was the 8th grade hallway at the school. And, like, I'd come out of my room and nobody there even knew what I did. And so, like, they're like, how's it going? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going.
I'm here.
And then, the principals would be like, how's it going? And I'm like, tell me, because I don't know.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do was to go do lunch duty.
That's sad.
I got to go interact with children.
No.
It was like, 6th grade lunch duty. Let's go. And I'd go walk and talk to kids and like, that was
a highlight of your day.
20 minutes a day. I got to go do lunch duty. And like,
that's concerning.
Parent teacher conferences. We had a whole day off, just like we do in our district now.
Yeah.
I sat in my room from 7:45 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night.
I'm all alone.
None of my
like donkey.
No one there beside me. Because like they do the conferences in the lunchroom. I'm literally the room furthest from the lunchroom in this building.
Yeah.
Everyone's down there. Every now and then I'd meander down to a couple of guys I got to know. They were 8th grade teachers. Be like, how's it going? And they'd talk to me for a minute or two. And they're like, oh, sorry, I got parents coming. I'm like, bye.
Just stay back here.
Yeah, I got a little squish balls. So anyway, yeah, did that. Did the KTIV thing, and I was not mentally stable even from this whole project. Like, I'm like, I just poured everything I had into going into teaching, and my first teaching experience was a nightmare, and now I don't know what to do. And went to KTIV, and they're like, you're going to be a boss. Like, you are going to be in charge of the salespeople that go around to businesses and sell commercials, and you're going to be their boss. And I was like, there's some people here with 20 years experience. What?
Yeah.
So that
I don't understand that about the corporate world.
yeah, like, so I did that for a month and a half. And then like I said, I still was not mentally stable. And so like, I just wasn't working. My wife was concerned and trying to do everything she could to help me. And she called Jody, who I referred to earlier, and was like, Jody, I don't know what she said, to be honest with you. But then Jody called me and was like, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. How are you? She's like, cut the bull, Tyler. How you doing? I was like, not good. And she talked to me for like an hour. And then she was like, hey, there's a job at Irving. And she was like, on Thursdays, there's like a breakfast club.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's really good. The administration's good. Apply. She's like, there's a 4th grade position and a sped position. And at that time she was like, and it's like a behavior sped. And I'm like, behavior, like,
But it's like the resource.
It was the resource, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I applied, obviously got it. And like in my interview, I told Maria and Deemer, I was like, I cannot be unsupported. Like, I have come from a place of having zero support, and I fell flat on my face, and they were like, we've got you. And I couldn't have even imagined the amount of support we actually do get is more than I could have ever imagined. It's beyond amazing. It's like amazing.
The
Retweet.
Yeah.
So this year, I jokingly yesterday we were leaving. I was like, made it to the end. Like, this year was
an accomplishment.
it was like there were some hard moments. Was there ever a moment that, like, what was I'm curious from your perspective, what was the moment you looked at me and you're like, okay, he's crashing out?
There was a day that I went to Becky.
About me?
Yeah.
Do tell.
I can't even remember what the situation was, but it was the first day you were ever mad. And I knew you were mad and not okay because you weren't pacing and you weren't being fidgety. And, I just wish I remembered what it was. But
do you remember kind of the time frame?
Pre my wanting to quit my job.
Before or after Christmas?
After Christmas, but pre me wanting to quit.
There was one day in the first half of the year, one of the scheduling shit shows.
I'm guaranteeing you it was both scheduled things.
Probably.
Because I remember one day that you and I had just gotten to a point where we're like, we can't. Like, there's just literally nothing more we can do. Like, we just have to go talk to someone. Like, it's just not working.
I don't get mad often.
No.
I get mad at selfishness and meanness.
Mm-hmm.
If others are being mean, still heard it.
Yeah.
Still
I
hard
was
to
sitting
swallow.
up for the other one.
Sponsored by Splash.
If somebody's being mean to others, it drives me nuts. Or if they're being selfish and only seeing things through their personal lens and not trying to see things from
But
others.
You are still a good listening ear, because there are a lot of times where I get to the point of, like, I'm going to be mad and, like, just mean, but, like, I just have to get it out, and I'm not going to directly be mean at the person. I just have to get the feelings out, and then, like, you've talked me off the ledge a few times this year.
2 days ago, you were exploding about something.
In my classroom, in front of all my paras.
No,
too.
that was before.
Oh.
It was when we were in somebody else's room, and they were cutting lamination. And you were just like...
I was yelling.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, Nelly, calm down.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, and then, like, with the student teacher this year,
Oh.
there was a gen ed student teacher that lost my student. And...
See, and I didn't have any personal interconnection there, but in the hallway, like, I heard, like, people just need to talk nice to kids.
They are just tiny people.
Mm-hmm. And especially, I don't want to, like, especially our school. I don't want to put us in that box, but there are a lot of kids in all schools, and I feel like a lot of the kids that I see, like, home life is not all sunshine and rainbows.
The fact of the matter is like, we're in a low income community. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember my first year at Irving, I, like, broke down after a day at work because I had to make my first DHS call. And
I'm not laughing at that.
Yeah.
I know.
Where this is going.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my husband about it. I'm like, there's no way that, like, this is happening. I wrote, and I have a dream speech that I have cable TV when I'm in elementary school. Like, that was my big, like, problem. And it's just crazy to me, like, what some of these kids go through. But then we're like, why don't you sit completely still? Like, that's just not feasible.
Like, my mom has moved away. My dad moved away. I haven't seen them. I get brought to school in a taxi because mom is coming home from night shift or dad.
I put a lock on my fridge because there's so many people in and out of our house taking our food.
Yeah.
Like,
that is, and then, it's like these basic needs of, like, eat, sleep, like, comfort. And we're like, why are you using 3 pumps of soap and not just one? Like,
yeah.
really? Like, yes, things have to be corrected, but like, we don't need to be yelling at them.
No, not all the time.
There's only so many times that you have to yell at a kid. Put
Yeah.
your desk down if you're put your
Oh, me?
Oh, me? I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I wasn't paying lick of attention.
Okay, we gotta bring it up a little bit.
Bring
This
it
has
up,
been
bring it up.
depressing.
Um,
And has this been a 2-hour episode?
It's 9 o'clock.
It's an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Can we wrap it up? Because it's definitely probably dark.
Beth's headlights don't work.
Beth has 0 night vision.
So,
I
yeah.
barely made it here in the daylight.
Well, you had just woken up. Yes, let's wrap it up on a high note. On a high note,
Remember your why.
did I share mine?
No.
Okay, here's my why, and it's brief. Like boxer briefs. Fruit of the Loom.
Pansies.
Kids, I've put this before I was in education. My why is celebrating someone else's success. I love that feeling I get when I'm a part of viewing somebody else's success. And when I had 2 different students that at different times came in to show me their grades on our
iReady.
iReady, which is the diagnostics. Thank you. And they were so proud. And they were like, look what I got. Look what I got. And I was like, you did that. You did that. And there's one girl who, in her reading and in math, has just made some great strides. And at the beginning of the year, I had kind of seen it in her, like, you know this. It was strictly like some, learning stuff, but it was confidence. And so, like, I just made it a goal to, like, pump her up every chance. And talking to her gen ed teacher, and we were all on the same wavelength, like, just, she made huge strides. And that's my why. Seeing the kids find success and feeling that intrinsic, like, I don't even know what word that is, but like that, that warmth.
Pride.
I feel pride.
I feel power.
I see a badass mother.
Who don't take no crap off of nobody.
Again. Cool Runnings. Shout out Cool Runnings. But exactly, that is. And like kids saying like, I know this, or I got that. Like, yeah, you do. Go dominate.
Yeah.
I'm getting hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! Okay.
Go teaching.
But this has been... Oh, she's struggling with the headphones, so...
Let's all watch. Let's all watch. I will narrate. Hair stuck, hair wrapped. Oh, she's out.
I just had to. My ears.
Her ears are red and squished.
I got a big ear.
I got a big ear and little arms.
I bet if you had headphones that are comfy, you could probably, like, plug an aux cord into them.
Yeah, this is just an aux.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
For real. Bet.
Okay, but this has been Gavin with the Gaggle.
Gavin with Gaggle. Hey.
Episode 2.
Couple tidied up things. Number 1, Ashley Ray makes things. ASHLEYRAEMAKESTHINGS.com. Get your teaching gear.
Teacher subscription boxes during the school year.
Yes, those are awesome. The Color Comfort brand that
Comfort Colors.
Willy Wonka style, flip it in reverse, Missy Elliott. These are not your Gildans, okay? Gildans suck.
But Gildans will be available for the Silly Goose Teacher Club merch because it is more affordable for teachers.
It is a more affordable thing. I'm just at a size that's weird for Gildan.
Because you have a long torso.
We're not touching
and
on
little
it.
legs.
But they're also the thicker ones too, so you don't have to wear like a certain color undershirt or something too, which is nice.
And they're cool. You can't have this shirt unless you come here.
Yeah, even Marty likes them.
Yeah, and Marty's... Shout out, Marty!
Marty approved.
Take the bus out, Marty.
Yep. And subscribe.
Comment. Say hi.
Comment.
Say what up, bro. If you say what up, bro...
We'll shout you out.
We'll shout you out, I'll write your name on the board.
We also told them to comment something else at the beginning of the episode. Neither of you remember, I bet.
What did we say?
I don't know, but you said something like comment if you want.
I feel like Ashley dropping the microphone at the end of every cast pod needs to be the thing.
Cast pod. The cast of every pod.
The cast.
No,
of pod.
but you said something. Like, comment if you want to see or comment.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, I don't remember
Oh
what it
yeah,
was.
we did.
So this video should have so many comments.
You should
all
because
be
our
commenting
listeners
multiple
are
times.
so active.
If you comment, we will start a conversation thread with you.
Yeah, Tyler will.
Dabbing with the Gaggle YouTube.
You say dabbing with the gaggle?
Hey, when did I dabbed this year?
Oh, I don't know, but it was so weird.
It was awesome. It was legitimately the best.
I think it was just when we like got something figured out as like
Bam.
colleagues.
Early in the year, before they knew me, they're like,
Yeah.
what the heck is wrong with this dude?
Because you were full dad mode before you could be really
Well, you pulled up today and I'm out mowing. Did that
yeah,
look pretty dad?
in a 0-turn mower.
Yeah.
I literally like both hand off the wheel. Like, what is happening
Like,
right
catch
now?
me rolling.
Okay,
Hey,
Beth needs to
Tim.
drive home. So, bye
Like,
bye.
subscribe, Instagram.
Yeah.
The other stuff too. Facebook. X, Twitter X.
Let's not push it, please.
I don't have that app.
What?
Bye bye. Subscribe to channel.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Friendos.